Shalom Aleichem. My name, once again, is Rabbi Adam Dubin. I work here in the RCA office in New York City. This week, to just share briefly a little bit about Sukkot and less about the parsha itself, but just a little bit about Sukkot. So the Gemara in Maseches Sukkah teaches that a sukkah must have enough room to contain most of your body, and as well as a small table. It's about 7 tefachim, as it says, Rosho v'rubo v'shulchano. If it's smaller than that dimension, then it's pasul. As Fasem is taught, this measurement of Rosho, Rubo, v'shulchano teaches us that we should be entirely inside the sukkah. The whole mind and heart should be inside the sukkah. No part of us should be outside of the sukkah. And once we're there, we should get our family into the spirit of a sukkah as well. Sitting in the sukkah is an incredibly great mitzvah. As I understand from the Zohar, I'm certainly not a Kabbalist, but the Zohar says, when a person sits in the shadow of Emunah in the sukkah, the wings of the Shekhinah are spread around him. He should be happy every day of Sukkot and show a happy countenance because the Ushpizin are there with him. The Yisod of V'Shorish Havodah writes, when a person learns about the greatness of this mitzvah and its huge reward, and about the Ushpizin, he will yearn intensely for this mitzvah. Ki ma'od gedola milas mitzvah sukkah, because it is extremely exalted, this mitzvah of sukkah. And if someone sits in a sukkah without the simcha, while he's technically kept the mitzvah, the Torah says that to really dwell in the for 7 days in the sukkah, he should do so. You eat there, and some say, Shulchan Aruch, since we're beferish, but we'll say some say to sleep there. But he shouldn't be satisfied with only this level of performance. He should be extremely happy, simchadik, when he's in the sukkah. As the Sfas Emes teaches, Roshel v'rubo v'shulchano, his entire essence should be in the sukkah. And he should influence his mishpacha, his family, to experience the simcha and the spirituality together with him. As the Mishnah Berurah says, when we sit in the sukkah, we should have in mind that HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded us to sit in the sukkah, to remember Yetzias Mitzrayim, and also to remember the Anani HaKavod, which Hashem enveloped around us to protect us from the environment while we were in the Midbar. We should think of these thoughts, and in this manner, we should be keeping the mitzvah properly. However, with the Yevid, you've accomplished the mitzvah even if you only had in mind to do the mitzvah. This quote from the Mishnah Berurah teaches us that thinking about the reasons for sukkah, Zecher Yetzias Mitzrayim and the Anani HaKavod, is part of the mitzvah of sukkah. Generally, the reasons for mitzvahs are not part of the mitzvah. In fact, some say that we shouldn't even try to figure out if there's a reason, because really HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the reason, and if we come up with a reason it's not the right reason, it could cause apicorsis. But aside from that, the Mishnah Berurah says that in this case, the reason for the mitzvah is something to keep in mind. For example, we don't need to know why Hashem commanded us to take the Arba Minim, and we also don't need to know why Hashem commanded us to hear Shmir Shofar on it. But we are, of course, required to take the Arba Minim and to listen to the Shofar. We just don't need to know why. But, says the Mishnah Berurah, an integral part of the mitzvah sukkah is to think about the reason why we have the mitzvah. As the Torah says that we should sit in the sukkah for 7 days, so all the generations will know that I sat the Jewish nation inside Sukkot when I took them out of Mitzrayim. We can compare this to a melech who commands his servant to do something. if the Evid follows the Melech's directive and he does the deed, it's enough. He doesn't need to think about specific reasons why he does it. But if the Melech would tell his Evid, do the following, and as you do it, think about the following. And the loyal Evid would need to think also. The action itself wouldn't be enough. So too regarding most mitzvahs. Hashem told us to just do them. By doing them, we've completed Hashem's commandment and we're doing what he wants. By the mitzvah of Sukkah, Hashem said to think about it. Think about Yetzias Mitzrayim and the Ananiya Kavod. If he doesn't think about these matters, such a person doesn't think about them, the mitzvah is not perfect, and as a result, it's not performed properly. We can elaborate on this idea because another indication that when we keep the mitzvah of Sukkah, we should be besimcha with our heart and soul. We should be thinking, as the Sfas Emes taught, Rosho Rubo V'Shochano, that our entire essence should be inside the Sukkah. The Simcha doesn't need to be 100% true. Tzaddikim taught that one who is allowed to use sheker, falsehood, for Simcha, because when he pretends to be happy, he'll end up being happy. We should put on a happy face, show that we're happy to do the mitzvahs, and then we will truly be able to reach this high level of happiness, the true level of simcha and joy, and bring the family together in the spirit of kedusha and in spirit of simcha that really we need to have in the sukkah. May we merit to not only dwell in the sukkah this year, but that by our dwelling in the sukkah, really the full, complete mitzvah, really being in the sukkah, that we should end up to merit to see the fulfillment of Hashem's promise to bring down the sukkah of all sukkahs, Beis Mikdash Shlishi from Heri Yameinu. Wish you a good Shabbos and a good Yontif.